Good afternoon. Hello, Fort McMurray. It's Melanie Gallia with Remax Fort McMurray, and I'm with my co-host.
Barb Pinsent, the Mortgage Center, we connect.
Awesome. Okay, so Barb, this is Let's Talk Lending. We get together 8 times a year to discuss the Bank of Canada rate announcements, if there is one, if there's not one. And so is there going to be a rate change?
No, not again, which is what the government had said they were going to do. They are, or had said that it would not change until mid 2022. They're upping that timeline a little bit by saying first or second quarter because of the current situation. So they still don't want to increase that overnight lending rate yet. That's caused the bond market to go up today after the announcement. So fixed rates, the 5-year fixed particularly, we are going to probably see an increase in those rates, but overnight lending rate has not changed.
Okay, so here's what I find this interesting. So what I find interesting about this is that I think, it may not be a big change, but I think that people need to start thinking about or realizing that now might be a really good time to buy, or at least get yourself locked into a rate, because this could change on a dime, and you want to be prepared, and you don't want to be in a situation, and especially with our inventory lower, I'm going to predict that we could see ourselves in a very quick market next year if the interest rates are going up. So maybe you might be thinking about putting your house on the market in the spring, but if this actually does happen in the first quarter, like February, March, I would say you're going to want to have your house on the market instantly so that people can take advantage of this. Would you agree?
I would actually, yeah. Because
Yeah.
we are going to see, there's no doubt about it. We are going to see higher rates. We've actually seen higher rates on, in the fixed rates. And again, it's the 5-year term that I've seen changes. It's happening. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. All right,
And
cool. Okay. So let's get to her here. Are you ready for your presentation? What do you want to talk about? Because you always figured like this is an opportunity for education, right? So
exactly.
what are you thinking? What's going on?
Today, we're going to talk about what not to do once you've made the decision to buy a home. And these are pointers only, and of course, they don't apply to everyone, but they do apply to people who are probably more the first time home buyer, or someone who's not maybe established as some of us older people would be. We've had credit for a really long time, job stability, we've got a little bit of money set aside. So not for that type person, but for someone who is maybe not as established, some good points here to take in.
All right, you're on the screen, ready to go.
Okay, thanks. So first thing not to do is don't apply for new credit. It can lower your credit score, and you're going to see this lots because that credit score is so important. So as I said, you'll see that lots. It may be cause for concern for lenders, more available credit to use, which is not always a good thing. They're worried that maybe you'll default on the mortgage payment because of an increased debt load. Don't buy a vehicle. Again, it can affect your credit score. It may derail your mortgage application, especially if it wasn't there when you first were pre-approved. Wait till after you've moved to switch to a new vehicle is the best advice that I can give. And again, this is not your seasoned, established borrower that I'm speaking to. Don't close any credit accounts, even if you're not using them. Don't transfer debt to a new credit card. It may make sense to do it financially, but it may not make sense to do it because you're looking to buy a mortgage or get a mortgage, in the future. It can affect your credit score. Don't move money around without a paper trail. Lenders want bank or investment statements, and typically for a minimum of the last 3 months. So if you're, and deposits that are greater than $1,000 have to be verified, excluding payroll deposits, unless you're paid by check. If you're paid by check, hang on to your pay stubs. Don't move funds around from one account to another if it can be avoided. Again, because of the documentation that you're going to have to provide, because if funds are transferred in and out from other accounts, statements for those accounts for the last 3 months have to be provided as well. It's very much like an audit. You know, the lenders are looking to see where the money is coming and going from. They're not looking to see what your spending habits are. They just need to know that the funds that are being used for the down payment are legitimate funds. So have a complete and accurate set of records available, such as a bill of sale for something you've sold. So you've sold a vehicle and you put the money in your account. The bill of sale is going to verify that you sold the vehicle. That's where the funds are coming from. Notice of assessment to verify your tax refund, because it's a deposit that's been made into your account, and you verify that deposit again by way of the notice of assessment. Statement of adjustments for sale of a property if you're selling property and down payment is coming from the net sale proceeds. Don't increase your debt. Debt to income ratio is extremely important to a loan approval. More debt could put you in danger of going above the maximum acceptable debt to income ratio. Sorry about that. Too much debt, even if ratios are in line, can be problematic. So, you know, if you're carrying big balances on revolving credit, so your credit cards, your line of credit, and you've got a vehicle loan and maybe a toy loan or two, or be careful with that, because it, you know, even though like I said, if the ratios are in line, but you've got too much debt, I have had files declined by the insurer because of that.
Wow.
Don't skip a payment or make a late payment. Don't forget to pay your regular bills. Don't ask for an extension to a payment unless, of course, extenuating service conditions like COVID was, or the fire, that type thing is different. So if you're just, if you're looking for an extension to your vehicle payment because money's tight and you can't make the payment that month, not a good idea, because they're going to worry that you're not going to be able to make a mortgage payment. Or what would you do if funds were tight? What are you going to do about that mortgage payment? Non-payment or late payments and extended payments can affect your credit score. Don't change jobs. And this, changing jobs can affect your approval. Some changes are more impactful than others. So, if you're going from a salaried position to an hourly or a commission-based pay, how do we verify income? We do it by looking at what your past history has been. So it's important not to make changes like that if you are thinking about buying property. Don't change to a different industry. Don't become contracted or self-employed. Don't spend your savings. And a lot of this stuff is common sense, but sometimes it needs to be said. You need to have enough to cover your down payment and closing costs. And sometimes lenders will reach out to us, at the 10th hour, asking that we verify something again or re-verify. So be careful of that. Don't spend your savings. I've already said that. Do check with your mortgage broker or your mortgage specialist if you're unsure of something. It's always better to check first. So don't go making any big changes. If it's something that you're wondering about, check with us first before doing it. And that's it.
All right, cool. Okay, so a couple things here. I love, Barb, that you've got this thing here. This is how to contact us on Facebook and Instagram. letstalklending.com is also a really fast way to get a hold of us. Barb and I are a fantastic team. If you're thinking about buying, the very first step is Barb. The absolute very first step before you step into a car is Barb. Okay. And then because you need to know what you can spend. And quite frankly, sellers do not want you in their house unless you can buy it. Right. So let's save your time, right? Save your time, honor your time, and your real estate agent's time and the seller's time, because you need to know for sure if you can purchase a home. That's one of my requests. And I know that sellers too. So Barb, I want to share a little bit about what I'm going to take your screen down. So you should be able to see me, or if you want to stop on your end. But I do want to show you this here. Okay. So what we're having a look at right now is some of the statistics from all of 2020 to 2021. And so some things that I want to make you aware of. Let's look at how many home sales we are. We have beaten all of 2020 by 111 single family home sales. That is it's substantial, and that's pretty incredible kind of number. So the other thing I want you to have a look at is our average price is up almost 10% over last year. We're actually back to 2020 prices. So I'm seeing confidence in the market. But the one thing that I am seeing, and I'm going to flip over to this screen here myself. So as of today, there's like 5 minutes ago, there's 220 single family homes. What we are going to see is typical. What happens is that this is what happened last year. We went well under that. We went under, especially in December. A lot of people don't want to move at Christmas time, but you may want to get your house on the market sooner than you think for the new year if these interest rates are going to change and if there's going to be any kind of movement, because you want to keep that money in your pocket. So here's what I'm looking at here, right? 528 for 2019, and we're at 525. Like that's pretty incredible. So if you want any information on market stats, I am the self-proclaimed junkie on that. I get kind of geeky about it for sure. And yeah, like knowledge is power, right? Knowledge is absolute power. The other thing that I want to invite people on, is a little bit of a different subject though. If you go to ymmlights.com, I'm just gonna stop sharing that screen, and I'm going to share another screen. Share screen and Chrome tab and YMM Lights. Okay, here we go. So here's this really super cool light, and I have to thank Octavia. Octavia is a young lady that had started this, and we're quite frankly, I paid her because she's done such an incredible job. Octavia Bishop has put this out. And so what you're going to see here, we hope to have something out by Friday, but look at all these locations. These are haunted houses. These are houses that have been decorated in Fort McMurray. We are still working on this list. So if you want to reach out on the Discover Fort McMurray community page, or if you want to on my own page, that I haven't popped it into Discover Fort McMurray community page yet, but we're looking at addresses. Right? We know there's lots more. We're going to end up doing the same thing for Christmas, but I'm going to have a downloadable map. That's going to be Friday. Again, that's YMM Lights. And we're geeking out. A little bit different subject than we normally talk about. But hey, I just wanted to throw that in there, throw a little bit of fun. Not just real estate, just a little different curveball real estate, right? Just a little different curveball. All right, Barb, when is our next date? When's the next date we're getting together?
December 8th.
All right. Perfect. So December the 8th is going to be the next update. Maybe we'll have more information, or maybe we'll have some better sense of what's going to happen in the new year. And if what I think is going to happen, I think that we're going to see that the spring market may start in February next year instead of April. So we may have a super spring market. So, plan your vacations accordingly, realtors. All right. If you want to get a hold of us, the best place is letstalklending.com. Barb, as always, thanks for being my co-host. I really enjoy doing this. I like to be educated. Thanks for being my partner on this for the last while.
Thank you.
All right, Fort McMurray, tag a friend, share this video, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Take care.